Good evening to all of my viewers in Europe. Good afternoon to everybody here in the Western Hemisphere, and good early morning to folks in the Pacific Rim. And welcome to the Angry Astronaut. Happy holidays to everyone. Hope everybody's been enjoying their time off. Hope you did get time off. I still worked through the through the holidays a bit. Too much going on. I mean, the fact that we had three asteroids pass us by kind of uncomfortably close on Christmas Day, that was very strange, something that I think definitely required some reporting. And I wanted to sing you guys a few Christmas carols. I hope those of you who checked into that enjoyed it. And where's everybody checking in from? We have over 60 people watching already. Thank you so much for tuning in. Where are our viewers checking in from today? And did you have a good holiday? I hope you definitely did. London, hello, David. Thank you so much for checking in. Hopefully, I will be back. I will be back in your neck of the woods sometime soon. Fusion only 20 years away. By the way, I have secured an interview with that company. So we're going to hear in Uxbridge, Enfield. Thank you so much, Daytona Beach, Indiana, Rochester, Sierra Nevada foothills, Ohio, the UK, Alaska, Los Angeles, Sevierville, Tennessee. Boy, thanks so much. Really do appreciate folks tuning in today. Like we are closing in on the end of the year. People are tuning in. Let's go ahead and check in on that. Let's see here: Alaska, Indianapolis, Pennsylvania, Puerto Rico, Finland. My daughter loves Puerto Rico, by the way. Colorado, Great Bloody Britain, Finland, Cape Canaveral. Hello, Gary from Cape Canaveral, Glasgow. Thanks so much for tuning in. Scotland, North Derbyshire. Thank you so much for checking in as well. Lots of folks checking in right now. It's wonderful about the internet. People from all over the world. I'm very happy to see you guys checking in with me today. So, all of this having been the case, we had some good things this year. There's no question. I mean, we had SLS launch, we had Falcon 9 launching every week, it seems. I mean, we had SpaceX making as many as 3 launches in the space of 3 days. I mean, it's amazing what's happening now in the world of spaceflight that we never got to see in the past. But the question remains, what are we going to see in 2023? Because we had a number of letdowns, not least of which is Starship. All right, now granted, the FAA has not given the approval to go forward. There isn't a license yet. But that having been the case, I mean, is SpaceX really ready to launch anyway? I don't think so. I don't think they're quite ready to go. And so, what do we have left? And, how much longer do we need to wait? Because right now, of course, Starship is kind of up against a wall a little bit because we need Lunar Starship operational in order to put human beings on the surface of the moon. Fortunately, or unfortunately, depending on how you look at it, because of NASA's plans, Artemis 2 is not going to be happening for a while. We have time for SpaceX to get, caught up and get everything developed with Lunar Starship. But of course, lots and lots of hoops to jump over there. And the first hoop, the most important hoop, of course, is the orbital test. When is this going to happen? John says a couple of weeks. Of course, then there was a laugh there. So I'm thinking that may have been a little sarcastic, probably so, I would say. Yeah, I mean, we've been hearing this so much from Elon for so long now. I mean, July of 2021, we were hearing that an orbital launch was imminent. And yet, that's really not what happened. So, that's one of the challenges that we're facing right now is, when is Starship really going to go? And if it's not going to go anytime really soon, then, is it going to be ready in time for Artemis 3? That's a really important question. Fortunately, NASA is giving them a hell of a lot of time because the amount of time it's going to take before Artemis 2 is even ready to go. Although I heard an estimate recently that we're looking at second quarter of 2024. I don't know how they're going to carry that out unless they really advance their schedule on reusing those components from the Orion. That's possible. Maybe they will do that. But if that is indeed the case, then it's if they do advance it a little bit quicker, are we going to have to wait on Starship and HLS? In 2023, Elon will launch Starship without a flame diverter, which will damage engines and cause half the tiles to fall off. It will be a major event. Yeah, if they do that, and believe me, I've been very concerned about all that. And once again, I'm not an expert, but we've gotten to see the actual results of what happens if you try to light that thing up without a flame trench. I mean, what's the deal? What are they thinking there? And are they really increasing the chances of, or not at least significantly damaging the chances of Starship having a successful test if they do something like this? It is very odd. And it kind of makes me wonder if they really intend to launch from Boca Chica at all, or if they're just going to use Boca Chica for, static fires, maybe some unambitious suborbital stuff, and that the real launch will take place from Cape Canaveral. I don't know. Hard to say, but the fact that they haven't built a flame trench is a weird thing indeed. By the way, guys, thanks for checking in from Israel, from Washington State. Really do appreciate that. The Senate launch system, yes. And I mean, for any of you who checked out my video that I released today, I mean, we can really see why we call it the Senate launch system, because there were very powerful, influential people in the Senate that wanted to see those space shuttle jobs continue. They wanted to see us continuing to build RS-25 engines and those big solid rocket boosters and the big core stages and everything else that the shuttle needed. They wanted those jobs to continue without a shuttle. So what's the best way to do that? Well, to build this big super rocket, which we got to see tested recently. And, in all fairness to SLS, it worked very well. And so did Orion. Everything worked out spectacularly well. But we're still stuck in the old way of doing things, the very expensive way of doing things, the expendable way of doing things. Not very happy about that. But at the same time, it's really the only thing that we have to work with right now because we still haven't had an orbital flight of Starship. By the way, quick note. I'm not sure if you can hear me. I hope. Oh dear, looks like we may have lost our Discord. That may be the problem here. Oh dear. Oh my God. Am I back? Am I back? Okay, good. Good. Looks like we lost that. Looks like we lost that for a moment. Once again, guys, apologies. We're doing the transatlantic thing again. Oh boy, isn't that fun? So once again, to repeat what I said there previously, got the British Spaceflight T-shirt on, running 10% off, plus a free membership to my Discord server. I just added something new on the server called Ask Angry, which means you don't need to wait for a live stream. You can go to Ask Angry on my Discord server and ask me any question you like, and I will be more than happy to get it answered within 48 hours at most, unless something really weird is happening with me. But the Ask Angry server has now been added on Discord so that to give folks who my supporters direct access to me. And if you want to go ahead and pick up some merch, you get a free month. And if you send me a picture of yourself wearing my merch, I give you 2 free months. So feel free to keep. Boy, I got 45 likes on this. Very nice indeed. So let's go ahead and get back to the disappointments, not just Starship. Okay, we're very much hoping, of course, that Starship goes in 2023. What else do we have though? Obviously, we also have Vulcan. Vulcan Centaur, ULA, all of this has been delayed again and again and again with them, mostly because of Blue Origin. But now we have the added complication of putting the Kuiper satellites on there. Laura, thank you so much for jumping on board. Really do appreciate that. And you kind of gave me a segue into what I was talking about here when we're talking about upcoming launches, guys. And once again, you guys have been incredibly generous to me up to this point, and it's been hugely beneficial to this channel. All the support you've given me has allowed me to establish relationships with the UK Space Agency, European Space Agency, all of these different spaceports across the UK, all of these European spaceflight companies, so much that became possible even without the Virgin Orbit launch, even though that didn't happen. Everything else really made a huge difference to my channel and to the quality of the content that I can provide. And by the way, the whole pulsar fusion thing, I just released a video on that that's been fairly popular. That company reached out to me and wants to give me an interview. The CEO, very exciting stuff. So we're going to hear from him how they're actually going to get a fusion powered spacecraft up and running by the end of this decade. I'd really like to hear it from them to see if that's even possible. We shall see. But yeah, we got Vulcan Centaur that's been delayed over and over and over again. And as I was segueing into this thing, any support that I receive, of course, allows me to go and cover these things in person, assuming that they actually happen. The first launch of Vulcan Centaur is something that I definitely want to cover in person. I want to be out at the Cape to see that. And that's something that almost definitely will be happening this year, unless something goes very wrong with that. So I would very much like to see the launch of that rocket. In addition to that, of course, we have the failure of the Virgin Orbit. To be frank, I've got an open invitation in Britain to go back and cover it when it actually does happen. Clearly, that would be quite a thing to accomplish. But once again, I'd be interested to see what you guys think. Do you want me to go back to Britain and cover the Virgin Orbit launch? In addition to that, there's also the first ever launch of Electron happening from U.S. soil, happening in Virginia, Wallops Island. That was supposed to happen in December, and another disappointment for 2022. Didn't happen. So I can go up and see that. That would probably be the most affordable thing I could probably do, because all I have to do is drive up to Virginia, get a hotel for a couple of nights, game over. And I can cover that in person as well. And then, of course, we have the big event, Starship in Boca Chica. All of this crazy stuff that's supposed to be happening in the first quarter of 2023. Oh, my dear God. How in the world am I going to cover all of that? Most probably, I'm not going to be able to cover all of it, not in person anyway. But I certainly want to cover as much of it as I possibly can. So, that's of course up to you guys as to what you guys want to support, what you guys want me to go and do, what you don't want me to do. And believe me, you've been enormously helpful up to this point. And even though I didn't see the Virgin Orbit flight yet in person, the results were colossal. And it's not to give one example, the CAA, the UK equivalent of the FAA, reached out to me after I released that pretty nasty editorial and granted me an interview, which I'm going to be getting after the first of the year. I'm actually very pleased, very impressed that they reached out to me. The FAA never would have done that. They probably would have tried to put me in cuffs for what I said. But in any event, the CAA was very nice, very understandable, really wants to put things on a better foot. And, that I think that's fantastic. So as a result, so many things that you guys made that. Boy, John just threw $50 in the hopper to get me back to Britain for the Virgin launch. Wow. Well, that was a pretty strong statement, to say the least. Let's see here. If it's anticipated enough of launch, it'd be worth covering whether it succeeds or
Hi folks, it's another Space Note. John's producer. He's just experiencing some weather phenomenons at the moment. He should be back with us very soon, so if you just stick with us, we'll get him back online as soon as possible. Looks like Angry's internet connection is finally back online, folks. We'll be getting him back in the studio very shortly. I appreciate your patience. Okay, folks, it seems like Jordan's internet is back offline. Oh, I'll say that, and he's back. Look, he's here. I'm not too sure he knows he's here, though. I will be quiet and see if he's going to talk again.
My God, guys. Oh my God. I can't even begin to express my frustration right now. Jeez Louise. I am so sorry, everyone. My God. And for those of you who actually hung around for this, I don't know what to say. Everything has been going wrong since I arrived here a couple of days ago. I mean, my dad theoretically has fantastic internet connection here, and for the first time in I don't know how long, it just completely went down, completely dropped. And I was about to call the whole thing and just cancel the whole thing, and then miraculously it came back up. So in any event, I am so very sorry for what happened. Dear God, blows my mind that you guys are even still here. So in any event, I am very sorry indeed, very sorry. But yeah, beyond frustrated because the internet connection here is incredibly good. I just uploaded a video. It took almost no time, and in order to do it, the speed was astonishing. And then all of a sudden, the whole thing just dropped off at the worst possible time. In any event, the fact that there's over 100 people still tuned in is mind blowing. So we'll keep talking about what we were talking about. So we got Vulcan Centaur. Who knows if it's really going to launch in mid February? I'm hopefully going to be finding out more about that soon because I've got some friends at ULA here in Denver that may be able to give me a little bit more information about that. Not necessarily at ULA, but nevertheless, people who know people at ULA. So anyway, I'll find out a little bit more about the state of Vulcan Centaur. And as I mentioned before, we also have Electron flying from Virginia. At first, I thought there was no chance whatsoever that was going to that there's no chance whatsoever that was actually going to fly this year. I thought it was definitely going to fly in December, and guess what? It didn't. And that's a very important event as well. I mean, we're talking about the first Electron, the first Rocket Lab launch Yeah, call it. Guys, I don't know what's happening here. Obviously,
Guys, it looks like we're just going to have to call it for tonight. We will try and reschedule something over the next couple of days when Jordan's internet's feeling better. There he is, he can give us the outro look. You want to say it, Jordan? Nope. I don't actually think Jordan's aware he's live to you.
You guys know I'm here. In any event, I'm really sorry, guys. We're calling it now, and I'm very sorry that this happened. Everybody have a good day, and we'll go ahead and reschedule. And as always, guys, stay angry about space.